RBT family, what is the deal? It's your dog Willie Jack, and we are back, baby, back with more NFL action. How's everybody doing? How you feeling? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is a big week now. Now, of course, we do have the holidays are on the way. If you celebrate, if you do, we are less than a week away. New Year's coming after that. Time is flying. The end of the year is winding down. And of course, we have excellent playoff style football to discuss. I don't know about y'all. Last night's game. Washington and Philly game, whatever. But that last night's game between the Bears and the Packers, fantastic finish for sure. The Thursday night game, super exciting as well. That Rams and Seahawks rematch, grudge match game as well. So we got spoiled with some pretty good football on the way to Sunday. Then of course today we've got some good matchups to talk about. So hope everybody's weekend went well. And of course, as you get in here and get settled down, we're gonna do what we came to do. Y'all know what's going on. I do see a couple early birds in here. What's going on? My dog Derpy back up early this morning. Said F Detroit, man. You know what's going on, man. Come on now. Big nation business, man. You know what's going on. Yes, sir. Yeah, we got to handle our business today. For sure. Let's see. Mom's in the building as well. Say good morning, Big Nation family. Have a blessed show as always. Appreciate you. But yeah, it was definitely... We got some good football leading up. The Thursday games are always wildly inconsistent. We know that. This one, of course, did not disappoint for sure. We're gonna get into that. Then also Saturday, and then and I won't lie. Strangely enough, it was like hold on here, a little discombobulated. But yeah, for some reason, strangely enough, I forgot we had football on Saturday because I know the college football playoff started. That's what threw me off because the college football playoff started. So of course, Oregon beat up on James Madison. Whatever. We've kind of touched on that already. So watched a lot of that. Watched too much of that game to probably tell you the truth. Of course, and then also even earlier this weekend, the Oklahoma and Alabama game. Oklahoma comes out on fire, dominating. Looks like they're going to run away with this one, right? Alabama, only for Alabama to come back and upset and steal that one away as well. And so, yeah, did a little college football. Watched a little college football this weekend. I, of course, watched that Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua boxing match that was on Friday, of course. And, it went about how I expected, of course. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at Jake because I take it for what it is. It's Jake who's a YouTube person. He has transitioned into a boxer. Man's got 13. No, he was 12-1. So I think it's his second loss tonight. He's 12-2. He's got 14 professional fights. We hate him because of the way they came about or the amount of money that he's making. But it is what it is. And I'm not going to fault Anthony Joshua for going out there and making $40 to $50 million last night to beat up on former YouTube star Jake Paul. So like I said, I'm not going to tell nobody not to make $40, $50 million, especially the way it fell into his lap, for sure. But no, Jake does what he can to kind of run around and survive as long as he could. In my mind, I told myself going into that fight, I said, if Jake makes it past 4 rounds, man, that's fantastic. If Jake survives 4 rounds, then like I said, man, he couldn't lose. Or he wouldn't lose regardless of the outcome of the fight. And he found a way to run around the last 6 rounds. You know what I mean? And so it wasn't pretty. It was actually pretty ugly. A lot of and especially once he got tired. I mean, once he gassed out, but a lot of grabbing, a lot of falling to the canvas, a lot of holding. He did find a way to sneak in a couple shots, though. Now, I'm not going to lie. He did find a way to sneak in a couple shots before Joshua just stalked him, wore him down, and put him away. And so, did watch that as well. Let's see. My dude's got a comment said the Crimson Tide are going to run away with it. Can't wait to play Buckeye Nation. I don't know. Oklahoma has been up and down for sure. Now, this is definitely a game that the way it started, you would have hoped, or I would have hoped, of course, I know we would have hoped that Oklahoma found a way to just hold on and maintain and keep it going, but they completely crumbled. The one thing too, the one that, and there was a couple plays, of course, left on the field and poor plays, turnovers and such, but the daggone dropped punt, I want that punter for Oklahoma investigated. I want the punter for Oklahoma investigated, because you ain't gonna tell me when I tell you this man had no pressure, no rush in his face, and he casually let the ball go in front of his foot, drop. It was horrible. It was horrible. But no, I don't think Alabama's going too far. I don't think Alabama's going too much further for sure. Hey, my dog Tom in the building, man. Hey, shout out to the birthday boy, man. It's my dog Tom's birthday today, man. Shout out to Terrible Tom holding it down for them Houston Texans. And if you didn't know, my dog letting you know them Texans is still going to the Super Bowl. They on the way, big dog. Hey, they on the way. They are on the way, man. It's your party. You can cry if you want to. Yeah, man. Shout out to my dog. For sure. For sure. And then, man, Tom Cut, man, dog, man, you missed a good one on, hey, man, you missed a good one on Wednesday, dog. Man, we got it to, we had a little boxing segment, impromptu boxing talk segment, bro, at the end of Wednesday night, which should have been like 15 minutes, probably turned into about a 45-minute second show, man. All boxing talk, boy. I wish you was there for it. For sure. Yeah, hey, yeah, man. If y'all in the chat, man, drop a happy birthday in the chat for my dog Tom, for sure. For sure, man. We're gonna go ahead and get it going. And first off, matter of fact, let's recap some of these games we had. So the Thursday night game, Seattle gets their revenge against the Rams. They win this one in overtime, 38-37. And and I don't know what the deal is with Sam Darnold, because we've seen it now year over year, but he is just not the same player in the last 4 to 5 weeks of a season that he's shown to be the first like 12, 13, 14 weeks of a season. We saw this same kind of pattern in Minnesota. Now, they did win this game, but just Sam Darnold is not the same quarterback in week 15, 16, 17 that he was in week 6, 7, 8, when he was just on fire, could do no wrong. But they do win this one. Darnold goes for 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, did throw 2 interceptions in this one as well. And honestly, even the interceptions, they were, of course, fantastic plays, but he got fooled. I think one of them, the first one for sure, was a fantastic play. He's got a double, I'm going to just call it a double slant on his left. So the dual slants running from left to right. And it looks like man, but then the inside defender, he ends up falling off the inside slant, the guy that looked originally like he was trailing, and then he sits underneath the second outside slant and then gets an interception there and gets a big return. And so, he got fooled. Like, that was a great disguise and execution by the defense there. And so, that happens as well. And then even on the second one, they're down in the red zone, and this is another fantastic play and scheme by this defense as well, because it's not often that you imagine that a 320-pound nose tackle is going to sink in coverage. And that's exactly what Kobe Turner did. Kobe Turner had a fantastic game in this one as well for the Rams, the nose tackle for the Rams. He had a sack and a half. I think it gave him officially 2, a sack and a half, and this interception. So Seattle's right there. They're inside their own 10, right up there against the end zone. And then, just a fake faux rush, nose tackle sink, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, he sits and gets into that short kind of underneath coverage zone, and Darnold puts one right on him. And then credit and kudos to him as well for making the play. And so shout out to Kobe Turner. But yeah, those 2 turnovers definitely were massive ones. And honestly, the Rams have been rolling, and they were lighting it up. Puka Nacua was damn near unstoppable in this game for sure. Matt Stafford, him and Matt Stafford's connection, as good as it's ever looked. Stafford goes for 457 yards in this one, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Puka doing all the heavy lifting. Puka had 12 catches for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns himself. My goodness. So big day from him. And then, of course, being without Devontae Adams. I think I talked about on Wednesday how how I thought that we could see Devontae being out, like impact that red zone offense, because Devontae had essentially been the red zone package. The red zone package for the Rams for the last 2 months had just been Devontae Adams. Like Devontae Adams one-on-one outside. You can't guard him. You can't stick him at the line. Touchdown. And so, and I think earlier in the game, those first two red zone opportunities, before they settled in and then got to rolling for sure. But that was a fantastic game, or a very entertaining game. Couple controversial calls in this one as well. Definitely a couple bad breaks for the Rams or good breaks for the Seahawks, depending on how you want to look at it. But no, definitely still an exciting game. Let me see. Kenneth Walker had one of his better games of the season. 11 carries for 100 yards. Had a long 55-yard touchdown run in this one. Also added another 60 in the air as well. Let me see. JSN had a slow start to this game. He finishes with damn near 100 yards. I think 8 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. But he did all that in the second half, and then I guess in overtime, because he was shut out in that first half as well. And so, but no, man, this was a very entertaining game to watch. Seattle does pull off the victory, and then now, matter of fact, I think I just saw my dog. I thought I seen. Oh, you know what? I thought I seen my dog Chop in here with the Yankees. I was gonna ask what that NFC West looks like now as far as the seeding. The Rams had been the number one seed and had the top spot in that NFC West. But now with the loss to the Seahawks, and now they're even because they split the season series, and I think now their records should be even because I think now they're both 11-4. So I'm not sure. I'm wondering how the playoff seedings are looking now with those two tied at the top. Then, of course, yesterday's game during the day, Philly on the road at Washington. They spank Washington. Josh Johnson comes in for injured Marcus Mariota. They run away with that one, nothing to talk about. But the Saturday night game, last night's game, where the Packers on the road at Chicago, and man, this turned out to be a fantastic game. Especially, well, it had a fantastic ending, and it really picked up. Not a lot of scoring, right? It's only 22-16, and that's including, of course, overtime. But man, this was definitely an entertaining game. Like I said, especially in the second half and in the close. Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Shout out to Ben Johnson for the turnaround that he's had on that team, on that organization, and then it bearing fruit so soon or so quickly. This is a big win. This is a big, massive win for Chicago. And then also we should talk about for Green Bay, Jordan Love goes down with concussion in this game. And so enters Malik Willis. And you know another thing as well, man, kudos and shout out to Malik Willis, because he has looked damn good in relief for Jordan Love every time he's came in. Every time he's had to fill in for Jordan Love, he's made himself money. And last night was no different. Last night, he's on fire. Where's it at? Malik Willis finished this game 9 for 11 for 120 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. He added another 44 yards rushing on the ground. That's fantastic. That's fantastic production from your backup quarterback. And mind you, Malik Willis, he came in from like Richmond, I want to say. It was like a D1 AA. He got drafted out of a D1 AA program. I want to say it was Richmond. And he gets drafted by the Tennessee Titans in the 3rd round. Now, I always remember this because this was the Kenny Pickett draft. Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis were essentially the top 2 quarterback prospects, more or less, in that draft. I didn't love necessarily either of them, but I thought my Steelers were going to grab Malik Willis. Like all the talks he had done really well in interviews, et cetera, et cetera. It was looking like maybe we go that way. But then, of course, Kenny Pickett played right there in Pitt at the University of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh shares their facility with the college. And so that was always going to be close as well. We end up going with Pickens over Malik Willis, and then we see how that played out. But Malik Willis ends up going in the 3rd to Tennessee. Never really catches on with Vrabel. They abandon ship and get him out of there. Matt LaFleur goes and picks him up, brings him to Green Bay, and has really honed in a lot of that raw talent and ability that made him a viable prospect coming out of a small program like Richmond, and he's played damn well. And I'm watching him last night, and matter of fact, shout out to my dog Chop, because I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, man, he's going to start somewhere. He's got to. Like, because I think I'm looking at programs right now, even in that division. Malik Willis looks like a much better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. He does. And like I said, 9 for 11 for 121 yards, and he threw a dime. The touchdown pass he threw to Romeo Doubs from about 40-ish yards out was dropped right in the bucket. I mean, he's with his athleticism as well, using his legs. There's a solid 4 or 5 programs he could start for. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. When I'm watching starters like seeing JJ right there in Minnesota, right? That's the low hanging fruit as well. But other places as well, man. I'm thinking. I mean, Tyler Shough is a rookie as well, and he's not doing himself. He's doing himself justice with his play in New Orleans. I'm not going to tell you I'm taking Tyler Shough over Malik Willis if I had the choice, though. You see what I'm saying? Even what they got going on in Atlanta, right? And I'm not saying I'm not to say that Michael Penix. I'm pulling the plug on Michael Penix, but though the struggles there, I also think maybe that offense doesn't necessarily do or function in a way that suits his skill set the best or so. But what I'm saying is I don't want to get too copy distracted. There's teams and opportunities. There's teams that should have space for Malik Willis for sure. We've seen time and time again that this is a league that has a quarterback problem. And there's 32 teams at any given time. There's 20 teams that are confident, or there's 20 teams that I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't want to get too bogged down, but I did want to say he's playing well, and I'm curious to see what he looks like, man, when he gets an opportunity to maybe hit the market. I think he could be one of these guys like we've seen, and man, I get tired of saying these names, but we had to talk about it. We've seen a Daniel Jones go somewhere, pick up that mid-tier $15 to $20 million kind of in-between bridge quarterback money, and then see if you can have a chance to show something of yourself. Daniel Jones was on that trajectory before he got hurt. Of course, we've seen what happened with Sam Darnold in Minnesota, now in Seattle. So we've seen these things. We've seen OG Geno, when he finally had to wait and get his chance, take it over in Seattle before that fell apart in Las Vegas, Baker Mayfield. So we've seen this pattern. Or similar enough pattern, and so there's gonna be time and opportunity for Malik Willis as well. But getting back to the Bears, Caleb goes 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, another 30 rushing. DJ Moore, 5 for 97 with the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Fantastic dime of a pass from Caleb Williams, and both Caleb's touchdowns, because they both came late. They both were in the fourth quarter. One was in the fourth quarter, one was in overtime. The touchdown to Ja'Day Walker, undrafted free agent rookie, right? Who gets to play in this one. His only target and catch of the game in the fourth quarter to tie this game, or to give them a chance to either tie or send this one to give them a chance to tie this game. Hold on. Was that for a tie? Yeah, the scoring in this one was weird. So yeah, to tie the game, this is the touchdown that they end up needing to get to overtime. And so he just runs a flag route from the 3 slot, and Caleb Williams, he has immediate pressure. He's falling back. He's booting out right, and he throws a dime. Ja'Day Walker goes and makes that fantastic catch, and that's the touchdown that they needed to put themselves in position to get to overtime. And then, of course, in the overtime, Packers get stifled on a 3rd and short. Then they fumble the ball on a 4th and short. They're going for it right there at midfield. They get a fumble. Caleb Williams and those Bears, they take over. They get a big pass to get down the field, to get right there in the relative scoring range. Then they kind of falter or stall. Am I miscommitting? No, I think I switched that up. That was a Ja'Day Walker one. Because that Ja'Day Walker touchdown ended up tying it, to put them in position to send it to overtime. That was on 4th down. Long story short, Caleb Williams throws a fantastic pass to DJ Moore for the game-winning touchdown right there, walk-off game-winning touchdown in overtime. And then also, it was a hell of a catch. He gets contacted early by the defender. Now it's bang-bang. So in the replay, we can see that the defender's arm comes in there a little early and kind of has him wrapped around, like from over his shoulder, trying to reach around and grab at his chest. And DJ Moore still finds a way to hold on and catch that ball. And so fantastic throw, a fantastic catch, and they get a big win in walk-off fashion against division rival Packers. they've been battling back and forth for the top of this NFC North. So when they just played, 2 weeks ago, the Bears had just taken over the number 1 seed in the NFC. And then they went and played the Packers in Green Bay. They lose that game, and they dropped from the number 1 seed all the way to the number 7 seed with that loss to Green Bay just 2 weeks ago. And so now again with this win, they split the division, or they split the season series. But now with this win, and then also with the Seahawks comeback win against the Rams as well. This NFC has been upset. Has been moved around, man. There's been a lot of movement in this NFC. And so, yeah, I definitely can't wait to see. I've got to go back and take a look and see how the seedings are working in the NFC now, man, with all this late movement from these 2 games for sure. Because these were 4 of the 7 playoff teams that we're talking about. So Seattle and the Rams, Los Angeles, both those teams are definitely going to be in the playoffs. One's going to be a division winner. One's going to be a wild card. Same thing with these Packers and Browns. One's going to be a division winner, and one's going to be the wild card. That's 4 of the 7 seats, right? And so with those 2 playing each other, both leaders at the time took losses. Speaking of the Rams and the Packers, and so now all that seeding's been upset again. And then of course, another one of those seats looks to be occupied by the San Francisco 49ers. They're also, 10-4 they play today. They're playing against the Colts in a game that we would assume is going to be winnable as well. So this NFC is having a lot of movement here, especially kind of this late into the season, man, on the doorstep of the playoffs. So it's getting tight. It's getting tight around here for sure. Let me see. My dog Todd says, how about we have a kickback? Hey, Crown and Tequila at 10 in the morning. Hey, I ain't mad at you. And he can get wings. Hey, I'm with you. No, this ain't the wrong chat. No, this ain't the wrong chat, boy. You in the penthouse. Yeah, man. Pass me 2 shots and 4 wings, man. Pass me 2 shots and 4 wings. Yeah, for sure. Hey, my dog Vegas James in the building, man. He said happy Sunday. Hope everybody feeling blessed. What's going on, man? Shout out to Vegas James in the building, man. My dog Keandre, man, Captain of the ship in the building, man. Said what's going on, everybody? What's going on? See, Mom said it might have been a different game plan that Jordan Love not had that concussion. And you know what? And that's probably fair. But see, the thing is, yeah, that's going to be valid because Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback in the league for sure. And he's been playing lights out. He's been playing fantastic for the bulk of this season. And so, yeah, that's still a valid comment for sure. Now, one thing I want to say is that I don't think, I didn't watch that game and feel like Malik Willis necessarily was a detriment to them winning. You know what I mean? And the reason I say that is similar, a little similar to the way I felt when Joe Flacco was filling in for Joe Burrow, right? So Joe Flacco's not Joe Burrow, right? You know what I mean? Like he's still the starter and he's a verified dude. You know what I mean? But the production and what they got from Joe Flacco in his stead, like the team still was able to perform to the level that we expect, right? Because didn't much change from Flacco to Burrow. They still found a way to score 30 to 40 points a week and still lose those games. You know what I mean? So they still kind of maintain that same style of trajectory across Flacco and Burrow. And so a little different, of course, but in this game, especially before, because we forget, Green Bay was they had a pretty firm hand on this game. I mean, it was a 2-score game midway through the fourth quarter, and Malik Willis had been fantastic. He had played damn well. And so I don't necessarily think there was plays out there that Malik Willis just left on the field or plays that I would have expected Jordan Love to make. Now, one thing I would say, and of course, hindsight and all that good stuff, in the overtime on that possession, Chicago gets pressured. Montez Sweat gets around the end. Malik Willis doesn't break away. Ends up taking a sack there, a big sack on. I think that was on their second down play. And so, Does Jordan Love get sacked there? Does he get the ball off? I mean, maybe, but that's kind of, we're splitting hairs there. And then now also Malik Willis is a far superior athlete to Jordan Love as well. And so if Malik Willis wasn't able to use his raw athleticism to maybe get away from it, I don't know if Jordan Love would have been able to either. Maybe Jordan Love gets rid of the ball before taking the sack. I mean, we get to kind of splitting hairs, but on the whole, honestly, I was very impressed with what I saw from Malik Willis. And honestly, like I said, it was, if a NFL regulation is 60 minutes. So for about 50 minutes of that ball game, right, in regular regulation, the Packers are in pretty firm control, and Malik Willis was lights out. Like I said, he only had 2 incompletions, no turnovers, right, in that game. He did get stopped. It took a good shot. It was a fantastic one-on-one open field tackle on the third and about maybe 3. And he actually gets stoned right there just short of the line. So it's 4th and 1. And then they go for it right there at midfield on 4th and 1, and they get the fumble, and Chicago takes over the ball, or takes over right there. And so, without the fumble on the snap or the handoff interchange, I can't remember which style it was, but without that fumble, do they pick up that first down, or even if they get stopped? I mean, who knows? But I don't necessarily think that they were hampered by Malik Willis's play. If that's what I'll say, and not to take anything away from Jordan Love though. Hey man, already man, hey for sure. I'm telling you, yeah man. Hey, happy birthday man. I wish boy you didn't threat. It sounds like a good time. I'm mad I heard about it now because now I can't partake, and I'm upset about it. But yeah, happy birthday to you, big dog. And matter of fact, let's jump into some of these games. Let's see. First up, Buffalo on the road at Cleveland. Give me Buffalo to get this done, man. Buffalo 26-20. That Cleveland team, they had a little spark, man. Shadur came in. They won a game that he played well in his second start, a loss against Tennessee, in which that Cleveland Browns defense really got gashed on the ground in the run game, man. And so that was still startling. That next week, the Bears we just talked about, they also gashed this same vaunted Cleveland Browns defense, and again on the ground as well. So running the ball, Myles Garrett did pick up some garbage time sacks in that game as well to kind of inch closer to T.J. Watt and Michael Strahan's single season record. And so essentially, that's what they're playing for today. Buffalo Bills and Big Josh, man, they look to be – Big Josh is back in Superman form for sure. We've seen Herculean efforts, none short of last week's comeback victory against the Patriots, who jumped out to a 21-0 lead in that game before Big Josh and the Bills settle in and take over and win that one going away in the second half. So the Bills look to be gaining momentum. They're on the road at Cleveland. Now, this is still a tricky game because like if that Cleveland Browns defense does show up and play to their standard, then they can make it a tough day for anybody, right? They can hamper, they can harass, and they can pull you down into the mud with them and find a way to steal one. We've seen that happen earlier this year when they found a way to come back and beat the Green Bay Packers in their building a couple months ago. So they are able, especially in their building, if they're firing on that defense. And we've seen Buffalo, especially Buffalo early in games. Buffalo, you can get out early on Buffalo to start, but then what they've been doing, and it's kind of similar in a little way to what we've seen from the Bears, where they've been able to make these adjustments coming out of halftime, and then they really turn it on and turn up in the second half, and they came back and won a lot of games. And so do we see that pattern today? Does Buffalo defense come out in Cleveland? I imagine it's going to be a cold and probably poor weather day. I don't know if there's snow on the ground, but I would imagine if there's not snow, it's definitely cold. I would imagine the wind's going to be up. So this is going to be a defensive style of football game weather-wise. And so there's always going to be a chance there. But I'm taking Big Josh and those Bills to get it done. Like I said, we've seen Cleveland's defense get ran through these last 2 weeks. It started with Tony Pollard and then DeAndre Swift in the Chicago Bears last week. And now you've got James Cook and Big Josh Allen, who is just as dangerous a rusher threat in the league as anybody as well. And so that could be problematic for this Browns defense. Selfishly, I hope that Myles Garrett doesn't sniff a quarterback today. I think Myles Garrett's at 21.5 sacks. And so 1 more sack ties TJ Watt, 2 sacks, 2 more sacks, breaks or sets the new single season record. And so we'll see how that plays out. But I am taking Buffalo to get this done on the road. Give me 26-20. Then also, this Buffalo defense, lastly, this Buffalo defense hasn't been special. So they're this is a defense as well in which, like, Shedeur in this offense, if they can find a way to get it going, they may have some success here today. So I do want to see how Shedeur looks against this Buffalo Bills defense, which can be susceptible to allowing other teams to move the ball. So want to see how he looks there. But all told, I think Big Josh and James Cook are going to be too much, and they'll find a way to pull this one out on the road. The Los Angeles Chargers on the road at Dallas. Shout out to my dog J2 Trio, man. Give me Dallas at the crib, 27-23. The Chargers, same story. We know about them, and they're super beat up, especially across that offensive line for sure. The running back room is getting a little healthier. Amarian Hampton made his return to the lineup as well, and then Justin Herbert still doing all the heavy lifting there for that offense. And then Dallas, man, it's been Dallas has been a real epitome of highs and lows. So it starts pretty rough. CeeDee Lamb goes out. George Pickens takes over as the go-to guy in that office with CeeDee gone. That office, they more or less explode. They play very competitive football up into and through Thanksgiving, where they had back-to-back impressive victories over the Eagles. Who am I missing? They had back-to-back impressive victories right in there around that Thanksgiving style of break. They were on the verge, especially when the Eagles were reeling. They were on the verge of maybe backdooring, putting themselves in position to backdoor that NFC East position before it, our NFL East division. My goodness. Before it all came tumbling back down. And so they've lost a lot of that momentum. They've dropped a couple games. The worst one in that stretch, the inexplicable loss to the Vikings at the crib. You cannot lose that game at the crib to J.J. McCarthy, who have been playing some of the worst football that anybody's seen in recent memory. You let that guy come into your building and drop 30, 34, 35 points on you. And so that essentially, I think, put a cap on their season. The playoffs are no longer viable for sure. And so we'll just see how strong they play down the stretch. I do think this is a winnable game at home against a beat-up Chargers team and Chargers O-line. Want to see what Quentin Williams and some of those other rushers on that D-line what type of success they're able to have with this beat-up Chargers offensive line. And then also just see just how strong the Cowboys finished this year. I know Brian Schottenheimer came out and said that they do plan on playing all the starters out for the rest of this year. They're not turning it in. And so let's see if Shotty and those Cowboys end up with a winning season in his first stint as the head coach. Kansas City on the road at Tennessee. And then is this a toilet bowl, man? The Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes for the first time in a long time. Gardner Minshew, when he came in relief for Patty in that short stint, he threw an interception on his first or second snap of that game in relief. And so we've got Minshew versus Cam Ward. Like I said, man, this one feels like a toilet bowl. And it's crazy to say that when we're talking about the Chiefs. I do think Kansas City should still win this game, Minshew or no Minshew. 23-19. The Chiefs defense, they still should be able to control this game, honestly. Cam Ward and that passing offense have been struggling all year. There's just not a lot of viability there. They've been hit or miss in the run game. We just talked about Tony Pollard, how he chewed up the Cleveland Browns a couple weeks ago. But all told, I don't imagine much resistance here for this Chiefs defense, even on the road. Travis Kelce on his farewell tour as well. He's going to play out these last 3 games before he rides off to the sunset. So we'll see how that looks for him. But I do think these Chiefs get a win today, even though it's going to be a little too little and way too late. I got them winning on the road 23-19. Cincinnati on the road at Miami. Quint Ewers named the starter. Tua Tagovailoa sat down after that Monday night loss to my Steelers. Give me Cincinnati on the road 28-20. For all the talking that Joe Burrow's been doing, throwing subliminals at the organization and the team, and they've put around him, particularly his protection and his defense, and then following it up with him having probably his 2 worst performances of the year in back-to-back weeks. 2 turnovers in each of the last 2 games, and both those turnovers, of course, being the critical differences in wins and losses in those games. Now they go to Miami. Quinn Ewers making this start. I think they should find a way to get this done. I'm going 28-20. Another thing as well, Cincinnati had very slim playoff hopes, but with their play the last 2 weeks, that door has officially closed, so they are eliminated, and we'll see how they play this out. And especially with Joe Burrow now, he's taking some licks, he's taking some shots, he's not playing well. There's a lot of talk and speculation about, does he pull a Carson Palmer? We've seen this from the Bengals before. Does he put a line in the sand and force his way out of Cincinnati? We'll see how they look going down the stretch. Does this Miami team as well, whose season is also, like I said, their postseason aspirations, they went on a nice little run there to give themselves a chance, needed to win out, lost to my Steelers. So neither of these teams is playing for anything other than pride at the moment. And so we'll see who comes out on top. I wonder if Miami at home with Quinn Ewers, if they find a way to shock the Cincinnati Bengals team. Devon Achane had been completely on fire at the running back position before getting stifled last week against this soft Bengals defense. Does he turn it back up and have a big day in this one? You know what? Nah, I'm gonna leave it where it is. I was gonna say, let me get Quinn Ewers and Devon Achane against that struggling, reeling Bengals offense that doesn't have anything at all to play for, and Joe Burrow's already got half a foot outside the door. But I'll leave it where it is. Cincinnati on the road, 28-20. Let me see. The Jets on the road at New Orleans. Give me New Orleans in this one, 23-19. I kind of talked about him a minute. Shock. He's not playing bad at all, man. They've found a way to steal a couple wins. They stole a win just 2 weeks ago against the Packers. Or excuse me, not the Packers, against the Panthers, who are more or less tied for the lead in that division with the Buccaneers. They've got a head-to-head matchup today that's going to really help to kind of settle who's going to win that division. But Tyler Shuck is playing. He's doing himself justice. I can say that. I think he's playing well enough to where the Saints don't have to go back to the well and don't have to force a quarterback in this upcoming quarterback draft, which is weaker than anticipated when we started this season. A lot of the big names that we were excited about likely not coming out until last year, just a down year for most of those guys. And so that coupled with Shock's play, I think he's bought himself more time, at least another go-round to see if he can be the guy, franchise guy going forward. Minnesota on the road at New York against the Giants. Give me Minnesota and J.J. McCarthy to get this done, 27-20. And then just in this one, just seeing if J.J. could put together 2 decent performances back-to-back. So we talked about the victory against the Cowboys. Can we have another one against a soft target in Jackson Dart and that Giants offense? I think this Vikings defense and Brian Flores, they should be able to keep that, like I said, the Giants offense in check in this one. And then can JJ just not make plays to shoot themselves in the foot and let the Giants stick around and stay in this one? But I'll take JJ and those Vikings to get this done, 27-20. Let's see. Speaking of that NFC South, Tampa Bay on the road at Carolina, and so this is going to be a good one, man, for this division. Tampa Bay has been reeling, man. They've taken a couple bad losses, couple critical losses. That loss to the Falcons, just 2 weeks ago, was a big one. I think they could have won the division. If they won that game, they could have won the division with the victory over Carolina today. And then same for Carolina. They dropped the game last week to the Saints. So if they had went ahead and beat the Saints, then this game could have been for the NFC Championship for them. Now, both those teams losing last week, then they'll play each other, I want to say twice in these next 3 weeks. I think they play each other this week, and then I think they end the season in week 18 against each other again, unless I'm mistaken. Somebody had to correct me if I'm wrong. But this is the first of those 2 matchups, which should be for the division. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I can't get on it. I have a trouble putting too much faith in the Bryce Young, man, and those Carolina Panthers. Even though the Panthers themselves, they're playing pretty solid competitive football. They've had a couple big upset victories. They beat the Packers. Yeah, they beat the Packers. They beat the Packers in Green Bay on a Monday night, right? I don't want to shortchange that. I want to say they beat the Chiefs. I want to say the Packers beat the Chiefs as well. They beat the Cowboys. So they've got a couple quality victories that we probably didn't expect them to win. And then this Buccaneers team, like I said, they've been battling all year. Injuries have definitely played a big part of it. But they are struggling here. I think they've dropped 3 out of their last 4 or 4 out of their last 5. And so they're reeling here, but they do still have a chance to salvage this. They do have a chance to salvage this division. I don't feel, you know what, and at home, and you know what, man, I see Unk in the building, man. Unk David Lee in the building said, don't take Tampa Bay. He said it's RGC is going to win because it seems like it's been sports betting. Man, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. A couple of these calls, man, and a couple of these awkward calls and situations, the sports betting button definitely feels like it gets pushed from time to time. I tell you that for sure. I didn't even talk about, I forgot to mention it in that Seattle and Rams game, the 2-point conversion, the failed 2-point conversion initially, that ended up being overruled and corrected into a successful conversion that ended up allowing Seattle to get that game into overtime so that they can come back and win that game in overtime. It was this meant to be a swing pass out on some style of like little smoke screen or whatever to the left. I think it gets deflected or bounces off a defender's helmet or deflected off somebody's hands, but it was decided that it was a backwards pass, right? And so the ball is still live. And then one of Seattle's players, I don't know if it was Charbonnet or who, but they just picked the ball up standing in the end zone. But, they just pick up the ball and it decides that was recovered as a successful, etc. So I'm with you. And you know what? I didn't feel great about Tampa Bay. I think, I gotta go with my head and not my heart. I think you're right. Carolina's playing better football. Carolina is playing better football. I'm gonna list them on David Lee, man. Carolina's playing better ball right now, and they are at home. Tampa Bay is struggling to find their groove, man. That defense has been really been a letdown, especially in that game against the Falcons. They're struggling there. Carolina, we do know that they look and perform best when they get that run game going, when Rico Dowdle is going, when Chuba Hubbard gets going. And then also that defense, they can play pretty stout, right? They J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, they've got some pieces on that defense as well. And when they turn it on, they can hang in there and beat anybody. The Rams, that's the other good team I missed out when I was talking about the Panthers' victories over this last month and a half. And so they've been playing good ball against good competition, and they've been winning a lot of those games as well. So, yeah, I'm listening to my man, David Lee. Man, I'm taking Carolina. Carolina at the crib, 24-21, and let's see if they can find a way to hold on and steal that NFC South from those Buccaneers. Let's see. Now, this week's game of the week, Jacksonville on the road at Denver. This is a potential AFC Championship matchup right here. Jacksonville is playing damn good, man. Trevor Lawrence definitely coming off of his best game of his career. I'd say he had a 6-touchdown game last week. And the same thing I said last week, I'm saying again. I don't give a damn who he was playing. You score 6 touchdowns in a professional NFL game. I don't give a damn if it was against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Okay, I might care if it was Saskatchewan Roughriders. But be that as it may, the man had 6 touchdowns and played fantastic, damn near perfect football last week. And so him and that Jacksonville Jaguars team playing with a lot of confidence right now. And then also going on the Denver as well. Shout out to my dog Vegas James, man, if he in the building still. His Broncos, they're also another team, red hot. They're playing damn well as well. Bo Nix in his big matchup last week against the Green Bay Packers played, I think, his best game of the season. 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards, no turnovers in them as well. So I think both these teams are 2 of the hotter teams in the AFC right now, and then they're going to be duking it out. So this should be a very fantastic and entertaining game for sure. I do give the edge to the hometown Denver Broncos, especially on the strength of that defense. I got them winning this 28-24, and that's going to be the biggest test for me. How does Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence and that offense, how do they look now against a varsity-level opponent and a varsity-level defense in this Denver Broncos team? We know about the pass rushers, Nick Bonino and Jonathan Cooper. Shout out to my dog, Coop. We know about reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain. And so we know about the pieces that they have there on that defense that can make life tough for this Jacksonville Jaguars offense, which by and large had been pretty inconsistent, especially the first half of the season. But shout out to Liam Cohen and that Jacksonville Jaguars offense, because they've really turned it on and turned it around this last month or so of the season. Like I said, the big blowout victory last week and 6 touchdown performance from Trevor Lawrence aside. But now, can they maintain that hot streak, maintain that level of execution and putting up that many points on the road against this Denver Broncos off defense? I'm not so sure. But I do think this one should be entertaining to see. I do think it should be entertaining, an entertaining heavyweight matchup. And I think Denver being at home and with the better defense. And like I said, Bo Nix has got some fourth quarter magic that he's really honed into, man. So I'll take the Broncos in this one, 28-24. Let me see. Atlanta on the road at Arizona. Give me Atlanta 27-24 to get this done. Nothing special here. Kirk Cousins has started to kind of find a little groove now. And especially the connection that he's developed with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts with that massive day against that struggling Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense as well. Had his best game of his career. I want to say 3 touchdowns last week in that one. And so this game actually a battle of the tight ends. Trey McBride, tight end for the Cardinals. He's more or less, honestly, probably the best tight end in football at this time, especially if we're talking like receiving style tight end. For sure, he's fantastic. And then Kyle Pitts is really kind of settling into his own for the Falcons. We just talked about the great day that he had, over 160 yards and 3 touchdowns last week against the Buccaneers. And so now we got 2 teams with 2 stud tight ends, and both teams that know how to use them. So they'll go head-to-head in this one. I'll take the Falcons on the road, though, to get it done. Arizona has found a way to score more consistency of late, especially since Jacoby Brissett's taken over for Kyler Murray. But defensively, they haven't been able to stop anyone. And then also, a lot of the scoring they tend to do when the game is more or less out of hand. And so they're getting a lot of points they're scoring a lot of those points when they're not necessarily in contention or when they need those points the most, for sure. But I'll take Atlanta to see if they could continue their own little kind of maybe momentum they got last week from that big win over the Buccaneers. See if Captain Kirk Cousins gets another one done. Give me 27-24 Atlanta. Man, here we go. My Pittsburgh Steelers on the road against Detroit. Both these teams 8-6. Both these teams are holding on to playoff aspirations. My Steelers are also right now looking to hold on to our lead in the AFC North, which is going to be our ticket to the playoffs for sure. Detroit 8-6. They're also struggling to try to keep pace and fighting for one of those NFC wild card spots, which we already talked about a little bit before. It's pretty full, man. It's tough. It's tough seating in that NFC, right? So, like we talked about, between the Seahawks and the Rams, one of those is a wild card spot, so that's one. Between the Packers and the Bears, one of those is a division winner and a wild card spot. So that's 2 seats. That's 2 of the 3 wild card seats right there between those 4. Then also, you've got the 10-win San Francisco 49ers currently in the playoffs. And so it's getting pretty tight. And so Detroit definitely needs to win out to give themselves a shot to get into one of those wild card spots. And we'll see how that has to play out. But this is essentially a playoff game for Detroit. I don't think they can afford to lose another game and realistically have a shot at the playoff. And then also for my Steelers, right, we've got a little more wiggle room because our playoff is going to come down to week 18 in our rematch against the Ravens. So win, lose, or draw or otherwise, we beat the Ravens in week 18. We win a division. We go to the playoffs. But I'm not looking to put all my eggs in that basket, all right? I want to win this game. And I think this is a winnable game. That's tough. It's a tough game. It's a tough matchup for sure. That Detroit Lions offense is explosive, to say the least. We know the weapons, man. They've got the best back end football in Jahmyr Gibbs. My run defense has been inconsistent, to say the least, all season. So this one scares me to death. It scares me to death. Now, last week we went up against probably the second hottest back of the year in Devon Achane, and we did pretty well to hold him in check. Now, can we do that back-to-back weeks? Now, holding Devon Achane, I think he had 60, 65 yards on the ground. Can we do that again? Can we keep Jahmyr Gibbs in check, right? Can we stop a 3-yard run turning into a 65-yard touchdown? You know what I mean? Because that's the threat that you always face when you're facing Jahmyr Gibbs. Also, the rest of that offense, Jameson Williams, man, he's another 60-yard touchdown waiting to happen on the back end. Amon-Ra St. Brown, we know what he's about, man. Can we do anything to slow him down, working the intermediate and middle parts of the field? And so, man, this is a very dangerous game, man. This is a dangerous game. Now, on the other side, what gives me hope is this Detroit Lions defense has a lot of holes in it, especially in their secondary. They're extremely beat up back there. They've got a Meek Robinson who just was signed. I want to say that first month of the season, or no, maybe he came over in offseason from the Raiders, but he's there. DJ Reed has been getting honey roasted in relief of Terrion Arnold, who wasn't playing great before he went down with injury to IR. And so DJ Reed not playing great there. The safety room is beat up. I think Kirby Joseph is expected to play in this one, but Brian Branch still out as well. That defensive line, they're not getting a lot of pressure. They've got Aiden Hutchinson, who's a fantastic edge rusher for sure, but the rest of that defensive line aren't necessarily anything to write home about. And then they do have a very dynamic second-level defender in Jack Campbell, who's a tackling machine. Athletic, good size. I wasn't that high on him coming out of Iowa, but I'm not gonna lie, he's shown himself well, and he's playing Pro Bowl level linebacker, stack linebacker right now. So this game does concern me. I do think there's gonna be an opportunity for us to move the ball and to move the ball and score some points in this one as well. That Lions offensive line has also been a little beat up. Penei Sewell's still a stud at the right tackle, but the rest of that offensive line is beat up, man. That center position has been a problem spot for them all year. Frank Ragnow tried to come out of retirement to come back and start at center. The left guard, Chris Mahogany, I think he's been beat up and injured. He may still be out in this one as well. On our defensive line, we do have some injury. Nick Herbig's out with an injury. TJ Watt is going to miss his second game with a lung injury as well. So we also still are beat up, but we do get Derek Harmon back. I mean, this is going to be a tough game. I think this is definitely a competitive game. And of course, I've got the good guys coming out on top. Give me my Steelers to get this done. 26-24 on the road in Detroit. And then let's see, right on time for my dog Tom, man. I've got the Raiders on the road at Houston. Houston shouldn't have no trouble in this one, man. I should have just put a lot to a little. It just could have been just a lot to a little. 27-13, 30-10, 35-3, right? This game I don't expect this game to be competitive going into the second half. The Houston Texans defense playing fantastic football, the hottest defense in the NFL right now, and they're going up against probably the worst team in football, man. This Las Vegas Raiders team, and offensively and defensively, they're bottom five on both sides of the ball for sure. I just don't imagine what they do. I don't know. Those 13 points is too many. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to leave it because it ain't worth changing. I don't know if they scored 13 in Houston against this defense, but I do have Houston getting this done. 27-13. Big game for them. So now also, Houston should beat up on these Raiders, right, and get this win. And then with Jacksonville on the road against Denver, right, do we see the Texans assume that top spot in the AFC South? Do they jump the Jaguars, with whom I think they're tied with the record, but Jacksonville has the tiebreaker, so they're sitting in the first seat. So if Jacksonville does lose to Denver, like I thought, like I think they will today, then with Houston being able to beat up on the Raiders, we may see Houston assume that number one seat in the AFC South today as well with this victory against the South Las Vegas Raiders team. So big day for the AFC South, and should be a fortunate day for Houston for sure. Let's see. Sunday night football, the New England Patriots. Hey, okay. Hey, I see you, Tom. Hey, yeah, man. Hey, this should be an easy one for y'all today, boy. I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all get the JV Raiders. There's no reason at all that y'all should win this game by 20 points. This should be a Peter roll. There's no reason at all that y'all shouldn't Peter roll these Raiders today at the crib. I'm telling you right now. We should, matter of fact, we should spot the Raiders legitimately 13 points. If y'all don't win by at least 2 touchdowns, it should count as a draw. This one shouldn't be competitive at all. This one shouldn't be competitive at all. Let's see, Sunday night, New England on the road at Baltimore. And man, this is what's crazy about this is like this should be, and it's a Sunday night game. This should have been like an easy game of the week, right? But of course, we know where things stand with Baltimore, the punk ass Ravens. So I'm glad it's not. But New England coming off of a letdown. No other way, a collapse, an epic letdown. They had that division sewn up. You're up 21 points at the crib, at home against your division rival Buffalo Bills. You had already beat them earlier in their building. You jump out 21-0. You can't imagine a better start, and then you find a way to lose that game and let that game really get away from you in the second half. I think Buffalo outscores you in your building 28-7 at the halftime or something crazy like that. And so tough loss for Drake May and those Patriots. They do get the bounce back Sunday night against a struggling Baltimore team in Baltimore. This Baltimore defense, as we've known all year, they can be abused. They can be taken advantage of. And I look for the Patriots to bounce back and get it. This is still going to be a tough game because playing in Baltimore, regardless of how they look, playing in Baltimore on Sunday night, right, in that building, in the cold, they're probably going to have them black jerseys on. If I imagine, that's going to be that's always a tough place to play. So I'm not going to disrespect them like that. That is still a very tough place to play. That is still a tough win. They'll have to go in there and earn that one. The Baltimore Ravens are playing for their own playoff livelihood as well. They definitely need this game to build some type of momentum, and they're still chasing my Steelers as well. Now, also similar to my Steelers, right? Win, lose, or otherwise, this division will come down to a Week 18 matchup against my Steelers. And so, like I said, they lose this one. They beat my Steelers in Week 18. They get in still. But same thing I said, like with my Steelers, nobody wants to – you want to win and build every type of momentum that you can. So this is still a big win for them if they can get it. But I do have Drake May and those Patriots getting this done 28-24. Let's see. And then lastly, Monday night, we've got San Francisco on the road at Indianapolis. Phillip Rivers making his second start after almost finding a way to steal one last week against those Seahawks, man. Seahawks kick 6 field goals to win that game. I think it was 18-13 or 18-16 even. They win that game. Indianapolis hosts the San Francisco 49ers. And then we talked about it on Wednesday, man. This is probably out of the Indianapolis Colts' last 3 games. This, I think, is their most winnable game at home against the Niners. If they're going to win any of these last 3, I think this is the one. The next 2 are on the road. And I can't remember who we said they had, but I do remember on the road, and I didn't favor any of those matchups. If they're going to get a win, if Phillip Rivers is going to get a win in his 44-year-old mini comeback season, I think it's going to be Monday night at home against the Niners. The Niners, we know what's going on with them. They've been decimated by injury. They've got a lot of drama in that locker room. The whole Brandon Ayuk fiasco. We know what was going on with the injuries at the quarterback position. Mac Jones filled in admirably and played damn well for the bulk of the time that he got to start. Brock Purdy has now, of course, taken back over as the starter, and he's starting to come back into his own as well. It was a little rough there in the early going, but he's been picking up his play, especially over these last 2 games or so. And so while I think there's a chance for Indianapolis to maybe pull the upset, especially if that defense plays as well as they did last week against Seattle, and right, we've seen how explosive the Seattle offense can be. So if the Colts can find a way to play tough in this one like they did last week against Seattle, maybe they have a chance. But I think it's going to be too little too late, not enough to slow down these rolling San Francisco 49ers. I think they get it done. And, man, shout out to my dog Chop, man. They really are a machine. Because the Niners, I keep having to remind myself that they're a 10-win team. The Niners are a 10-win football team. You know what I mean? So they're playing damn good. They're under the radar, but they're still playing very well. And I do think they get this done 27-23. There we go. And then let me double check and make sure. Let me double check and make sure. No, that's it. That's all. That's it. That's all for sure. That's all the games. But man, and man, we got plenty of time too. It's only 11 o'clock. It's only 11 o'clock. We ain't got nothing to do. We ain't got nothing to do but chill. Matter of fact, you talk to me. You know what I mean? You talk to me, you know I talk back. Matter of fact, Tom, if you're still in here, man, did you watch that, or anybody, right? Anybody, mind you, if anybody's in here, did y'all watch that Jake Paul and, did you watch the Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight on Friday night? I don't know if anybody watched it, but I mean, like I said, I kind of touched on the start. It was like I expected. I mean, I didn't expect much of anything. They had that big ass 22-foot ring in there, and so of course, if you thought Jake Paul wasn't gonna get in there and run for his life, then you were certainly mistaken. I don't know what type of hype you bought into, but that was always gonna be the case. Now, like I said, man, he landed a couple shots. He had talked about trying to land his overhand right to see if he can put one on the button and maybe put Anthony Joshua down. We have seen him susceptible to those style of shots, and made famous, of course, by Andy Ruiz, right? We've seen Daniel Dubois as well. Now, not to put Jake Paul on the same level as those guys, but he did have a game plan, man, and he found a way to land that overhand right a couple times in this fight, and kudos and credit to Anthony Joshua for shaking those right off, walking right through them, and then, putting Jake Paul down for sure. And so, but yeah, I'm not mad at it, man. I think from what I saw, Anthony Joshua was guaranteed at least $40 million. I want to say was he guaranteed 40 to step in and fight Jake Paul. So I'm not mad at him at all. And he does put him down. I think Jake Paul suffered a broken jaw. He had to have a surgery to repair his jaw. I did see that. But another thing as well, Jake Paul got knocked down. What? Did he get knocked down 3 times? He got knocked down 3 or maybe 4 times in this fight. And he got up, man. And that's one thing that I do think that we have to give Jake Paul credit for, because it's an old saying, man, you don't play boxing. You play basketball, you play football, you play soccer. There's a lot of sports you play. You don't play boxing. You know what I mean? And so going in there against a 6'6" juggernaut, 6'6", 245 pounds of shredded muscle, an Olympian, a 2-time heavyweight champion, a unified heavyweight champion, and Anthony Joshua, right? There's no way to fake or play that. You can't play about that, man. Going in there, taking those punches, taking those blows, getting your jaw broke, right? Getting dropped and getting back up 2-3 times or more, maybe 3-4 times. So Jake Paul, man, I had to respect it. He could have laid down after the first one, man. We've seen people quit and take less punishment against prime Mike Tyson. You see what I'm saying? Like we've seen, we remember Bruce Seldon getting knocked down from the wind off of a Mike Tyson punch and refusing to get up in the first round KO. And that was for a WBA title fight. You know what I mean? So we've seen guys that just turn it in. Jake Paul went out there, got bloodied, got bruised, got his jaw broken, got knocked down. He was tired. He was gassed, right? And he found a way to keep getting up. You know what I'm saying? He got up when Ryan Garcia didn't get up. Ryan Garcia didn't get up against guy Tank Davis. Jake Paul, YouTuber, got up against former heavyweight 2-time division unified champion Anthony Joshua. You see what I'm saying? So it deserves some type of respect for sure. Pardon me. But no, I think he definitely deserves some type of respect. And this is the thing I'll say about Anthony, or about Jake Paul, man. And like I said, we ran through those games pretty quick, and so we ain't got nothing but time. I'm just talking. I'm just cool. And drop something in the chat if you got something to say for sure. Y'all know what's going on. But one thing I say about about Jake Paul is like, dog, man, we gotta respect it. And it's been said before. Look at what did the first 12 fights for Mike Tyson look like? What did the first 12 fights for Floyd Mayweather look like? What did the first 12 fights for Oscar De La Hoya look like? What did the first 13 fights for Roy Jones Jr. look like? You know what I'm saying? So I'm really not mad at all about Jake Paul. And now I do get it, because he's a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber. He started late. He didn't get here until he was 27. All those things. He's already making the most money and getting the most views out of any fighter. Boom, boom, boom. And so we, the greater boxing community like hates on him and and uses those as reasons to not want to support him. But for me, it's an old saying, and you know what, man? Tom might remember. I think was it Malcolm X who said this, or it might have been Martin Luther King. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's how I feel about it. I'm not gonna be mad at Jake Paul for finding a way to make $40 million fighting whoever he's fighting. I'm not mad at him, man. Don't hate the player, hate the game. That's a problem with boxing. If boxing there's an avenue in professional boxing that allows a YouTuber or a guy who's not serious or a guy who didn't grow up in the craft and all those complaints from the boxing purists, right? And I don't want to say I'm a purist, but I'm a huge boxing fan. You know what I mean? So I can understand that, but I don't hate the player though, man. That's a problem with the game. That's a problem with boxing. It's not Jake Paul's fault that he can go make $40 million fighting Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? In an 8-round fight on a Friday night in Miami. That's boxing's fault. And boxing did it to yourself. Boxing, you did it to yourself, right? Bullshitting around with all these extra belts, watering down and diluting the credibility of being a title holder, watering down and diluting the competition pool, allowing Canelo to fight, and I don't want to be disrespectful, man, but to fight subpar competition in Jake Ryder and these style of guys, Berlanga, gosh dang, who's the other Mexican kid he fought that's got like 40, it was like 44-0 against nobody we can name, Jaime Munguia. You know what I mean? So boxing watered down its own product, man. Boxing watered down its own product. And just like anything, it's a lot. There's room for a lot more bad when it's watered down. Y'all could have kept it pure. Boxing, you could have kept it pure. You could have kept it uncut, and you didn't. Man, you cut the product so bad now that now there's an avenue for Jake Paul to get in here and be the #1 viewed boxer in the sport and average $40 million a fight. Boxing did that to yourself. So I ain't mad at him, man, at all. Obama deepfakes in the building, man. What's going on? He said, yo, Obama deepfakes. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, you an NFL fan or a boxing fan? Talk to me, dog. What's going on? If you're an NFL fan, who's your team and who you looking to see today? If you're a boxing fan, man, there's been tons of stuff going on. But yeah, I'm just in the chat just wasting time, big dog. Steelers fan from Cleveland. What's going on? Oh, you in the right building. You in the place to be, man. Come on, man. It's Big Steeler Nation over here, big dog. Yes, sir. And from Cleveland. Yeah, I ain't mad at you. I'm a Steelers fan from Dayton. You know what I mean? Dayton, Ohio. So yeah, I feel you. Yes, sir. He said Detroit gonna lose today. Steelers 30-27. Hey, from your lips to God's ears, my boy. From your lips to God's ears. What was my score? I had us winning today, of course. I had it a little less, but somewhere close, a close game. I got it 26-24 is where I had it. Pittsburgh 26-24. But yeah, I like that too. Steelers 30-27. And honestly, like I do think there's gonna be points scored in this game. This Detroit Lions defense is not special. Like, this is not a special defense. This is not a stout defense, right? And so I definitely think that this is a very winnable game for my Steelers, and a game in which our offense, honestly, we've been scoring points all year. I think we're like 12th in scoring, I want to say. And I want to say also over like these last 2 months, we've been averaging like north of 25 points a game as well. So we are able to score the football, but we are having like these lulls where we'll have like 3 possessions in a row that go 3 and out, or 3 possessions in a row and we have 2 turnovers in 3 possessions. And, games are kind of getting out of hand or getting a little wonky on us in those moments, but we are scoring the football for sure. Our defense has been up and down, which is always concerning, but this is a game that we could score points. 30-27 is not a crazy score at all for this game. It really isn't. The Detroit Lions, I talked about it before. outside of Aiden Hutchinson, the rest of that defensive line is just solid, right? But they don't have a it's not a front seven that's jam packed full of just killers. Like, it's not the Texans front four. It's not our front seven. You know what I mean? They got Aiden Hutchinson. Now, he's a problem for sure. He's a problem. They got Jake Campbell. He's playing at a Pro Bowl level at the middle linebacker position. But, you know, he's solid as well. But that secondary is beat up. That secondary has been beat up for the last couple seasons, right? And so Meek Robinson and DJ Reed, these are the guys that are going to keep us in check offensively in the passing game? I don't think so, right? Kirby Joseph's been in and out that lineup and been beat up. I think, no, he's out. Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are out, if I'm not mistaken, right? And so that secondary is there for the picking. Also, just defensively, I don't like what they're doing. They're very man heavy, but they're not a good man team. You know what I mean? And so, and I like that for us as well. So I'll take my chances with a Meek Robinson. Meek Robinson is their best corner right now. Meek Robinson's 5'9". I'll take 5'9", and he's feisty. I don't mean it as a knock. I liked him when he was with the Raiders. When they picked him up for the Raiders, I thought it was a very underrated signing. He's a capable corner. He's solid, but I'm gonna take 6'4", 230-pound DK Metcalf one-on-one with 5'9", 180-pound Meek Robinson. I'm taking that every day and twice on Sunday afternoon. You know what I mean? So that doesn't worry me. And then DJ Reed, he's been getting honey roasted by just about anybody he has to cover. You know what I mean? So whether that's going to be Adam Thielen, you know what I'm saying? Whether that's going to be MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jonnu Smith, or you know what I'm saying? We know all the names. So there's that defense is very susceptible, man. Like if as long as we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and get in our own way, we can move the ball. We should be able to move the ball, and we should be able to score points. We're also top 10, 11 in the league in red zone scoring and red zone efficiency, right? So when we get in the short red zone, we've been converting a lot of those into touchdowns. We've got our own little tush push with Connor Hayward. You know what I mean? We already know what's going on with Darnell Washington, Mount Washington. You know what I mean? Our 6'7", 315-pound tight end, right? And so we've got a lot of mismatches in this one, man, that we can score points. Defensively is really where this is going to come down to. Because I think both offenses are going to be able to score points, but which defense is going to get 2 stops? I think 2 stops is going to be the difference in this game. Like and that's assuming, let's say once both teams are comfortable, let's say if both teams kind of find a groove, which defense gets 2 stops in this game, right? Who forces a punt and then who holds on and forces a 3 instead of a 7? That's going to be the difference. Can our defense get those, be the difference maker? Can our defense get the 2 stops that'll be the difference in this game? And I think we can, man. I think we can. My dog NFL questionnaire said the Ravens are so washed. You damn right. I hope Drake May drop 40 points on the Ravens tonight. I hope Drake May drops 40 in Baltimore. I'm talking about I want their spirits crushed. I want to see 40. Said both of the Chargers cooking the Cowboys. He's going Chargers 41, Cowboys 13. Man, that's a big spread now. Man, hold on, man. Now, the Cowboys defense isn't overly special. I'll give you that. But the Chargers offense isn't. When's the last time the Chargers scored 40 points on anybody? When's the last time the Chargers scored 40 points? When's the last time the Chargers scored 30 points? They've scored 30 this year. I think the Chargers may have scored 30 points twice this year. No more than 3 times, but I feel more comfortable saying twice. If the over-under on Chargers games in which they scored 30 points was 2.5, I'll take the under. I think I feel more comfortable saying they've scored 30 twice more so before I feel as comfortable saying they scored 33 times. So I don't think they're going to score that many points. And the Cowboys defense is a weak point for sure. But that Chargers offensive line is terrible, is beat up, is ravaged by injury. And the strength of the Cowboys defense is their defensive line. Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, Odiggy Duce. Shout out to my dog J2 Trill, man. Odiggy Duce. So they've got 3 quality defensive tackles. They've got Donovan Ezeraku at the edge. rookie edge from Boston College who's explosive. They got Jadeveon Clowney, who's had some moments, right, as well, playing on the other edge, and then also Sam Williams and some of the gang or whatnot kicking in. And so that defensive front is the strong suit for the Cowboys. And so that goes up against the weakest part of this Chargers offense as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know. 40 points is a lot. And then also, this Cowboys offense, they're still dangerous now. They're still dangerous. The Chargers defense is solid, but I don't know, man. I don't know about them holding this Cowboys offense to 13 points in Jerry World. Don't forget, this is in Dallas. If the Chargers win this game, and they very well can, it's not out of the realm of possibility at all, but I think this score is a lot tighter. The Cowboys are scoring more than 13. That's for one. I don't know that the Cowboys will win, but I'd have a hard time thinking the Cowboys are going to be held to 13 at home in Jerry World. I don't know. That seems too one-sided. I ain't going to lie. That seems too one-sided. Let's see. Cactus Shell Shocker said, no, they want the Cowboys going to win 20-17. Okay. And you know what? In this game, I think I believe I took the Cowboys in this one. Let me see what score did I have here? What score did I have here? Where is it at? I believe I took the Cowboys for sure. Here we go. Yeah, I think I had Dallas winning this one 27-23. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a closer game. I had it Cowboys 27-23 is where I had it. Cowboys 27-23. Now they dropping 6-7s in the chat. They dropping 6-7s in the chat. Hey, Drake May. Hey, you exactly, bro. Hey, that's Drizzy Drake May, man. That's what that is. That's Drizzy May. For sure. Yeah, man. Hey, I hope he dropped 40 on those Ravens tonight. For sure. RTC to go said they scored 41 against New England. The Chargers? You talking about the Chargers? The Chargers scored 41 on New England? The Chargers scored 41 on New England? I don't know, cuz. Did they? No, man. The Chargers only lost, or the Patriots only lost. Patriots have lost 3 games. They lost to my Steelers. They just lost to the Bills. Who did they lose to? Did they lose to the Chargers? And then the Chargers dropped 41? If the Chargers dropped 41 against the Patriots, man, I can't remember that. But I stand corrected. I stand corrected if they did. Now with this Cowboys defense, maybe I went too strong because this Cowboys defense isn't above letting somebody come into their building and drop 40 points on them. They're not above that at all. They let JJ McCarthy and the Vikings come into their building and drop 35. So maybe I oversold the Cowboys defense. Maybe I did because JJ damn sure just dropped 35 in that building just last week, and the Cowboys had everything to play for. And you still go out there and lay that egg and get embarrassed and let JJ McCarthy of all quarterbacks come into your building and drop 35. So it can happen. It can happen for sure. My dog Vegas James said he needs Dallas to beat those Chargers today. Yeah, for your Broncos. Well, no, I mean, these Chargers, they're not going to be a threat to your Broncos. They're not a threat to your Broncos, I don't think. Because y'all got did y'all not lock up that AFC West? Y'all haven't locked up that division? Can the Chargers still steal that division? Because y'all got y'all got a 2-game, is it a 2 or 3 game lead on the Chargers? I think your Broncos are the Broncos 12-3? Are the Broncos 12-3? I want to say the Broncos are 12-3 and the Chargers. No, I think you're right. I think the Chargers are 11-4. I think you're right. I think the Chargers are 11-4. So that is still They are still right there. I don't know why in my mind at first I was thinking that your Broncos had a couple games on everybody, but like, nah, the Chargers are still right there. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Oh, okay, they did last year. Okay. Okay, yeah, that makes me feel better. I was about to say, man, I was like, man, I don't remember the Chargers scoring 40. I don't remember Chargers scoring 40 points on anybody. Vegas James said they lost to the Raiders. The Patriots lost to the Raiders? That's one of the Raiders' victories. The Raiders only got 2 wins. The Raiders only got 2 wins. One of those wins is against the Patriots? Boy, I don't know what the hell happened that week. My goodness. I don't know what the hell happened that week. Yeah, that's crazy then. That's crazy. Okay. But, yeah, no, man, I ain't gonna lie. Be that as it may. Yeah, we gotta, I think, in looking at it, this week's games, the names were like going into like New England and Baltimore should be like a fantastic heavyweight matchup. Well, but it doesn't have the same type of shine, of course, because Baltimore's been trash bags for the bulk of this year. You know what I mean? So like it doesn't have the same luster that it probably would that we would have expected. Or, you know, and same thing with like this Niners and this Colts matchup, right? 4 weeks ago, a month ago, this was probably going to be a premium matchup. The Colts were rolling. They've since definitely plummeted back to earth. Danny Dimes got injured and then went out. Phillip Rivers back in. Jonathan Taylor teams have been really bolting, locking in and doing everything they can to really slow him and shut him down. So I mean, some of the matchups have lost a little luster. Just how things shook out this season, but we do still have some pretty good games. This Jacksonville and Denver game, the game of the week, that's going to be a fantastic game, man. I think these are the two of the hottest teams in the AFC right now. Denver, Jacksonville. I mean, Buffalo. When Big Josh turns into Superman, man, there's just nothing you can do. Buffalo's playing pretty hot. Houston, the Texans, they're also playing very, very well and pretty hot. So these are two of the hottest teams in the AFC for sure. So that's going to be a premium matchup. But then the rest of these matchups, I'm not going to lie, man, they lost a little juice. They lost a little steam. Lost a little juice, lost a little steam, but it's all good, man, because all these games do still have very important playoff implications for sure. You right. Vegas James, you right. They did. Oh, you right. I actually remember. Now that you said that, I do remember that. That's crazy, too. It's still crazy that the Patriots let that shit happen, boy. That's still crazy. And I think it was in New England. Was that Vrabel's? Did they? I think that might have been in New England because if I remember right, I couldn't believe that Vrabel lost his homecoming game to start the season back in New England, coming back, taking over the coaching, taking over as head coach for the team that he, of course, is a legend, won Super Bowls with, and all that good stuff. You come home, you take over the hometown team, and then you lay an egg and drop week 1 in your building against the funky-ass Raiders. Wow. Yeah, that was crazy. Now, also to their point, they haven't lost too many more since then. They lost to the Raiders week 1. They lost to my Steelers, I want to say was that week 3 or 4. And then from there, they went on like a 10-game winning streak until they just lost to the Buffalo Bills at the crib when he was up 21-0 in the second quarter. And so, yeah, those are their 3 losses. Yeah, that's crazy. Shout out to Vegas James, man. I appreciate you. Steelers fan for Cleveland. 4 days till Christmas, man, for sure. I don't know how y'all feel, man. Y'all got all your Christmas shopping done? How you feel? RTC the Ghost said Phillip Rivers going to beat San Fran today. And you know what? I do think there's a chance. Like I said, out of the 3 games left for the Colts, we talked about on Wednesday, out of the 3 games left for the Colts, I think this is the one that they had the best chance to steal a victory for Phillip Rivers before he goes back to retirement. I think it's this one. It's Monday night in they building, right? Monday night in they building. That defense played one of its best games of the season just last week, really stifling a red-hot Seattle Seahawks offense. So, you know, can they put together back-to-back performances like that against this San Francisco team traveling all the way from the West Coast? You know, I mean, so maybe, man, there's a chance they might be able to steal this one if that defense comes out on fire. And then Phillip Rivers, he has to show a little more than he did last week. That dink and dunk 5 yards at a clip, I mean, that's just that's just too easy to lock in and shut that down and take that stuff away. So I imagine San Francisco is going to really sit on a lot of short and underneath things, and they're going to really make old man Rivers go out there and try to see if he can sling one down the field. And it just doesn't look like he has the arm or the capability to do so. And so it's a tall order, but there is a chance. There is a chance. Vegas James said he thought the Raiders were going to be a threat coming into the season. I don't know, cuz. Let's see. They brought over Pete Carroll. They brought in Chip Kelly. I had no hopes for that Chip Kelly when Chip Kelly came back as well, because he's a college coach. Like the disaster when Chip Kelly came in and took over for the Philadelphia Eagles when they had that dream team. Remember the dream team talk back then? And then how they were absolutely loaded. Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Maclin. You know what I mean? Brent Selleck. Was Brent Selleck still on those teams? They had Vince Young. I don't want to say Vince Carter. Vince Young as the backup. I think he's the one that coined the term dream team. You know what I mean? They had a lot of names, a lot of pieces. And then we thought Chip Kelly and that high-flying Marcus Mariota, Oregon offense, right there, came off that national championship. And so, you know, we thought we were going to see that success implemented into the league as well. And it wasn't. It was a disaster. And then he leaves. He goes to UCLA. He goes to Ohio State, gets his name back up. And then he comes back to the league with Pete Carroll and the Raiders. And it was a disaster. This offense has been putrid. I mean, there's not enough bad words to talk about how poor that offense has looked under Chip Kelly. Ends up getting fired for a couple of weeks now. Too little, too late. But Geno Smith, who had salvaged his career, did all that work to salvage his career in Seattle, only to then, like, Geno's done now, man. Respectfully, the fall of Geno Smith from the place that he had raised his game to and where he had got to in Seattle, he just lost all that goodwill. He lost all of that. I think this run in Seattle, or this run in with the Raiders, has done it. I can't imagine somebody's going to give him another opportunity to start. You know what I mean? Just coming off of how poorly this season has been. Ashton Genty, the inability to get that run game going at all. Now that Raiders offensive line also being a very sore spot for sure, but just the inability of getting Ashton Genty any type of viability. That receiving room was poor all the way around. They traded the one weapon they had, Jacoby Myers, so they couldn't get him going. Brock Bowers is a stud at tight end, but he's been injured and beat up more times than not. Only 2 years into his career. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know what you saw in them Raiders, dog. I'm trying to think. They got Max Crosby, but that defense they needed more work last year too with Max Crosby. They brought over Christian Wilkins from the Dolphins. He got injured, and then in year 2 he did that weird stuff in the locker room, got cut. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what you thought them Raiders gonna do this year, big dog. See, the Raiders flocked for sure. Oh, Lord. Who's in here, man? Taiwanese animations, Roll Tide. Man, I can't believe Oklahoma let Alabama come back and take over and dominate that game the way they did. Oklahoma came out that game dominating. I think they were up like 17 or 20 points like midway through the second quarter. And then that damn funky punt, man. I want the punter for Oklahoma investigated. Because he gave away a block punt. No pressure, nobody in his face. He's holding the ball. He just sets the ball down like right in front of his foot. Then he takes his time picking it back up before he tries to repunt it. I don't know, man. I don't know, but Oklahoma definitely crumbled going into halftime and then the second half of that game, man, and really let that get away. Alabama went from being a controversial addition to the playoff to now winning, being the first team to win an opening on the road playoff matchup. They're the first team to do that since they've been doing it, or since with this new playoff format. So they went from controversial addition to winning and stealing the game on the road. NFL questionnaire said the Broncos, he still thinks the Broncos are fraudulent. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, man. I was a little slow to buy in on these Broncos because they have won so many of these late last second style of games. And it feels like every year or every couple of years we see a team like that where they find a way to win like a lot of these 50-50 games. They end up winning a lot of those games 70-30 or 80-20. Like they win a lot more of those close games where a block field goal here, a close penalty there. You know what I mean? They've came out on the plus side of a lot of those. But no, last week, watching what they did against the Packers, Bo Nix played the best game of his season in my mind. Last week, a fantastic day, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions against a very competent, very good Green Bay Packers team. So, I mean, that I bought in after that. And matter of fact, my dog Vegas James in here, man, he's a Broncos fan. He told us all we should have believed, man. We were supposed to believe in his Broncos, and that Packers victory last week made me a believer. That defense is legit. Reigning defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain. He got a little beat up in the middle part of the season, but he's back. He's playing fantastic ball. He had a big interception in that Packers game, one-on-one up the field with Christian Watson. That pass rush has been pretty solid all year long. Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper, right? And so Tyler Noah, who found you? You know what I mean? He's still roaming in that secondary as well. And then offensively, Sean Payton and Bo Nix, they've got something going, man. Bo Nix is playing extremely well in the fourth quarter, especially and in those crunch and key moments. They're playing damn good, man. They're playing damn good. They got Cam Sutton the ball last week as well. He goes over 100 yards and has a touchdown. That running game, J.K. Dobbins was productive before he gets injured, and now rookie R.J. Harvey I liked a lot coming out of UCF. I liked him a lot coming out of UCF, but he's also having success there as well. So that this Broncos team, man, they're dangerous. They're dangerous, man. They're one of the better balanced teams for sure, offensively and defensively. They're a very balanced team, and they're coached well. Sean Payton, man, we know his chops, we know his history. He's a Super Bowl winning coach, and we can see we're watching now like his impact and influence on this team and on his offense that are number one seed in the AFC. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna lie, question there, man. It's week 16. I don't know if you can still be a fraud after 16 weeks, dog. Now, my dog Tom, he tried to tell me that the Colts were frauds. You know what I mean? Because for the first 8 weeks, maybe the way the schedule played out. Now, also they got injured, they got beat up, all those things as well. But after 16 weeks, I don't know if we can call the Broncos frauds after 16 weeks, man. They just beat the Packers. They just beat the Packers, man. Yeah, they just beat the Packers. That's a quality win. That Packers victory was a quality win. And they did it it wasn't, I don't want to say they dominated, but they had that game, they won that game firm in hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they were the better team. I had no doubt that they were the better team watching that Packers victory last week. So that's your good team right there. That Packers victory last week sealed the deal for me. He said the Eagles don't count. No, but that's what I'm saying. So, well, the Eagles, we do know the Eagles are definitely up and down, and they're having a hard time. I mean, they said this has been a very up and down, hit or miss season for the Eagles. So that's fair. That is fair. Now the Eagles are still NFC East. They're trending, or they're on the path, on the way to being NFC East champions. Or actually, this win against the Commanders locked up the NFC East. So they back-to-back NFC East champions, right? The defending Super Bowl champions as well. So the Eagles are up and down, but they're the defending champs. And they're a division winner. They're not playing their best ball, but they are a competent opponent. You know what I mean? So I don't want to discount it. I don't want to discount the Eagles. I don't want us to consider the Eagles in the same category as like the Chargers, right? You know what I mean? Or well, even though the Chargers beat the Eagles in overtime with Jalen Hurts threw 4 interceptions. But I don't want us to take too much away from the Eagles. Because until you beat the man, they still the man until somebody beat the man. They are still the defending champs. They are still the NFC East champions as well. You know what I mean? And so, I think we gotta give them a little more credit for that. A little more credit. Vegas Jay said him flipping off his own fans was crazy. Man, dog, hey, man. Hey, it's a whole bunch of stuff going on with them damn Raiders for sure. Who's this? He said he's planning a Broncos Super Bowl party. Oh man. Hey, y'all getting carried away. Y'all getting carried away, man. Y'all getting carried away. No, you know what? If I'm being honest, I mean, we gotta respect it, man. The Broncos are the number one seed in the AFC right now. Number one seed in the AFC, and then the AFC is a very down year. It's a reset year. So Broncos, who do we have more faith in the AFC? The Broncos or the Patriots, right? I prefer the Patriots, but I got to get an edge to the Broncos because I just saw a young Drizzy May. Shout out to Drizzy Drake May, man. Shout out to Drake May. You know what I mean? Shout out to young Drizzy May. I'm a big fan. I like them. They're entertaining. I like Trayvon Henderson. He's explosive, dynamic. I was a big Stephon Diggs fan. I still like him. I'm a big Mike Vrabel fan. Mike Vrabel was a top 5 coach in the league when he was with Tennessee. I used to stamp that, man. I used to stand on it. I done debated it. You know what I mean? So I'm a big fan of Mike Vrabel as a coach. I can't trust you. I can't trust you to get it done in crunch time. You can't be up 21-0 at halftime with the division on the line. You at the crib, you up 21-0, you win this game, you win a division. And you fumble, you piss the bed. You let Big Josh Allen and James Cook come out at halftime and outscore you in your building like 28-7 in the second half. So I'm not gonna lie and say I trust the Patriots more so than the Broncos. You know what I mean? The Broncos, those are the type of games that the Broncos been finding a way to win and not finding a way to lose. You know what I mean? Broncos been finding a way to win those games. The Broncos had to stave off a late rally by the Giants in overtime. Now, mind you, and to Homeboy's point, my dog Questionnaires point, he said the Broncos got to find a way to do it against a good team. I'm with you. I do believe that. I felt the same way for a lot of the season. But that Packers game last week sold me for sure, right? I was starting to come around because at a certain point, you are who we thought you were. You know what I mean? Y'all remember Danny Green in that press conference after letting the Bears like they can come back and beat the Vikings. You are who we thought you are. At a certain point, you are who your record says you are. The Broncos are 14 or a 14-win team or 13-win team, number one in the AFC, and they've been that for a while. They've been riding high like that for a while. We just seen the Patriots crumble in their own building. I can't tell you that I'm going to trust them over the Broncos. And then who else is left? The Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has had the game of his career. He scored 6 touchdowns, but he scored 6 touchdowns. Was that against the Cardinals? Was that the Cardinals or the Raiders? One of those two teams, maybe the Raiders. But you know what I mean? So like, you know, am I going to put all my eggs in Trevor Lawrence basket as inconsistent as he is? Hell no. Then my Steelers, we're in the 4 seed. I can't lie to you. I can't lie and say that we should be favored over the Broncos in any style of matchup. So hell no. The next best threat to the Broncos may be the 5th seed Buffalo Bills. And that's only on the strength of Big Josh. Because team for team, they're not the better team. They're not playing better. They're not performing better. The only thing they have going for them is they got Superman. They got Big Josh Allen, who has shown us, 3 times that Josh Allen and those Bills have overcame 3 or 4 21-point deficit, second half deficits to win games just this year. They opened the season. They came back from down 30 to the Ravens, or damn near 30, down 21-0 in the first half against the Patriots. You know what I mean? Like, man, in others. You know what I mean? So like, but am I gonna say that we could put them on the same level as the Broncos? I can't do it. You know what I mean? Then what? The Chargers? I'm not taking the Chargers over the Broncos. And so, you know what? Hey, I gotta respect it, bro. Shout out to Vegas James and who's this? Ski Briz 518, man. Yeah, y'all planning that. If y'all planning that Broncos Super Bowl party, I can't even knock it. I can't even knock it, bro. I can't even knock it. Who is a legitimate threat that and the number one seed? You got to go to Denver. Who realistically is going to go to Denver? With that defense playing at home in Mile High, like who do we think is going to that building and getting a win? Big Josh, man. Big Josh is our only hope. Josh is the only hope I think of going into Denver realistically and handling or being able to overcome that defense for one, and that can overcome or outduel Bo Nix and Sean Payton in that offense in those crunch time moments. Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. You might be on to something. You and Vegas James might be on to something, man. I ain't gonna lie. It might be lying. All right, hold on. Yeah. Let me get through, man. I had some of those junk messages in the chat. My fault. Oh man, let me just put it back. I thought we was finna wind it on down, but let me put the chat back up there, man. My dog Vegas James said the first half of the season for Denver, the defense carried them. Now the offense is putting it together. Now that's fair. That's fair for sure, and that's true. It really is. Bo Nix, like I said, man, Bo Nix had been like the opposite of Justin Herbert, is what I was saying. Like he had been struggling kind of in the earlier parts of like quarters 1 through 3, you can get them. But then in the fourth time, or those critical or clutch moments, like Bo Nix has really been rising to the occasion for sure. Exactly. Well, yeah. Michael went out. He went out in that game. He went out in that game against the Broncos, but he wasn't the difference in them winning or losing, because Michael was there when they had a tie against the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Like Michael was there when they lost against Cleveland. You see what I'm saying? So Micah is a valuable piece, of course, to that defense, but I don't think the difference in them winning or losing that game was Micah Parsons being on the field or not. Like I don't think he was the difference in them winning or losing that game. Vegas James said Bo juke Micah out his ACL. Hey, man. Hey, man, why you do Micah like that, man? We hate to see that, man. We don't want to see Micah go down. But it happened. Whoa! Questioner says he thinks the Chargers going to come back and win the West? Do the Broncos and Chargers still have a game against each other? Do they got one more against each other to end the season, to end the year? Do they play each other week 18? I think the NFL now, the pattern they've had is most everybody plays a division rival for like week 18 or right thereabouts. Do the Broncos and Chargers still have a game left, or have they played each other? Have they already played each other all their games? Maybe Vegas James, man, you should know. Let me know. I don't know, man. I can't trust Justin Herbert. That offensive line is terrible. That offense, they don't have anything that scares you on that offense. You know what I mean? Like they just don't have anything that scares you on that offense. That running game is so-so. That passing game is so-so. Their offensive line and pass protection is terrible. And then that defense is decent, but it's not exceptional in anywhere. You know what I mean? Like the Chargers are just they're a capable team, but they're not dynamic in any aspect or facet of the game. They're not dynamic in any aspect or facet of the game. And so I can't say I can't trust them to go steal that division from the Broncos, man. I don't know. Vegas James said the Chargers are good. Got to protect Herbert, though. Man, yeah, exactly, man. He fighting for his life. Yeah, he fighting for his life for sure. Let's see. Biloxi, too, said, and were the Cleveland Browns. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I caught that comment too late. Unless you're talking about when I was talking about Cleveland beating the Packers when Michael was there. That's the last time I think I remember I mentioned the Browns. Chargers are the 5th seed. No, they are. They are for now. So what we got? No. Are the Chargers the 5th seed over the Bills? The Bills aren't the 5th seed? The Bills aren't the 5th seed? The Bills are 11-4, if I'm not mistaken. The Bills aren't the 5th seed? Or you know what? Are they both? Are they both 11-4? So are the Chargers and Bills the 5th and 6th seeds then? I think they may both be 11-4, now that I'm thinking about it. But either way, I'm definitely not trusting Justin Herbert to win a playoff game on the road. Oh, Chargers are 10-4. Oh, 10-4 and 9-5. Man, RTC the great, the GOAT, man. I appreciate you, big dog. I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping, bro. Yeah, I'm tripping. Because the Bills been on one this year. I forgot. Yeah, they lost to the damn Dolphins. Dolphins dropped 30 points on them. For sure. No, you show right. You show right. Okay. Man, so what's the AFC seeds look like right now? I know what Broncos 1, Patriots 2, Jacksonville 3, Steelers 4, Chargers 5. So 6 and 7 got to be the Texans and the Bills. Oh man, so the Bills are the 7th seed. Because I believe the Texans also have 10 wins. So that would mean Texans 6 and Bills 7. Ooh wee. Yeah. Damn. That's ugly. That's rough. And question is, the Chargers did beat the Broncos this year, but that's what I was thinking. Don't they play them again to end the year? And I think that when they play them again to end the year in Denver, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, they beat them in Denver. Hey, my bad, man. Hey, my bad, big dog. Hey, man, I stand corrected. Said Chargers won on last second BS leverage penalty walk-off field goal. Ah, yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, that the leverage call on the field goal. Yeah, where Buddy used. They say Buddy used the other guy next to him to like lean and try to jump up or something like that. Yeah, I remember that now. Okay, no, I do remember that now. But also, hey, Vegas James, now you gotta keep a player now. You got to keep a player. Y'all won a couple close games on some late field goal flukes and shenanigans as well. I think y'all beat the Chiefs on a block field goal. Y'all beat the Chiefs on a field goal as well. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, week 18 they do, but that was in Denver. Okay, I don't know why I was thinking. I thought they played again. But I was thinking that one was going to be in Denver. So this one might be with the Chargers. Oh, man, okay. Nah, hey, I stand corrected. That AFC West is still up for grabs. That AFC. Wait. No, the Broncos are 12-3. Right? Are the Broncos 12-3? Because I thought they had multiple games. They had at least 2 games on the Chargers. So if the Chargers are 10-4, if the Chargers are 10-4, then that would mean the Broncos are 12-3. Because I think they had a 2-game lead on the next closest team in that division. Said Denver may sit their starters. I mean, yeah, no, if they well, I don't know when they can clinch this division though. Because the Chargers. Hold on, man. Yeah, this playoff seeding is getting dicey. Okay, no, this Jacksonville game is big then. So, does Denver clinch the division if they win today then? Because Vegas James said that Denver may be in position to rest their starters week 18 against the Chargers. So, if they have a chance to be able to be in position to rest their starters, then that would mean that they have a chance to lock up. Wait, man, hold on, man. Y'all not going to get me confused this morning. Y'all getting me confused. Has the Broncos... Like, what do the Broncos need to clinch this division? If they haven't clinched it, will a win today against Jacksonville clinch the division? If they haven't done so already? Because now I'm confusing myself. Vegas Yang said, what I had for the Pats and Ravens. I had the Pats getting the dub. Let me find that score for us. Here we go. Sunday Night Football. I got the Patriots 28-24. Patriots 28-24 is where I went with that one. And this is a dangerous game, man. This is a dangerous game. In Baltimore on Sunday night, the Broncos or the Ravens are, I mean, they're fighting for their playoff lives, right? They need to win the division to make the playoffs. They're still super talented, right? This is still a team with two-time MVP Lamar Jackson. Arguably should have been three-time. Arguably had an argument for MVP last year. This is still a team with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was 60 yards short of going for 2,000 last year. We forget how good Derrick Henry was last year because Saquon did hit 2,000. Saquon hit 2,000 yards. Derrick Henry was like 60 yards behind him. It would have been his second 2,000-yard season, and he was 31. You know what I mean? So we forget that. But yeah, no, that's gonna be a tough game. And then also with these Patriots as well, they got the big loss last week. So I want to see, how do they bounce back? How does this young Patriots team bounce back on the road against a very hungry and dangerous Baltimore team who's desperate for a win? They're desperate to get some momentum going as well. So this is a desperate Baltimore team. This is a Patriots team that coming off of a big win, a big letdown at home. You had a chance to lock up that AFC East division. Instead, you gave the Bills life, right? And now you go on the road on Sunday night after that loss. Do you bounce back? Then we're going to learn a lot about this Patriots team too, about the fortitude of this young team. Mike Vrabel being back in his old home team for his first year. Drizzy Drake-May in his second year, exploding, taking a massive step forward from his rookie year, right? But the rest of that team, you've still got an older Stephon Diggs, you know what I mean? You've got a young rookie Trayvon Henderson. You've got a young O-line, you know what I mean? You've got a defense that, you know, that's been a little up and down, a little hit and miss as well. So this is a big prove-it game for the Patriots as well. We're going to see just how serious the Patriots are. This is a game for sure that's going to show us just how serious the Patriots are. Are they a championship contender, or are they just a team that found a way, that got a hot team that made the playoffs, or are they going to be a contender? This is the type of game you go and win, New England, if you're going to be a real championship contender. You got to go get this one. It's on the road. It's on Sunday night. There's a playoff style atmosphere for Buffalo. So this is one of those games where we're going to learn a lot about the Patriots for sure. Let me see. Okay, to win the division. Okay, the Broncos need to lose out and the Chargers need to win out. Nah, that ain't happening. I don't see that happening at all. Not the way the Broncos are playing. Now, this is a tough game today against Jacksonville, but this is still a winnable game at home that I think they win. But even if they lose this one, I don't imagine them losing out. I say that without knowing for sure the next 2-3 games after this, because I know they end with the Chargers, but I'm not sure who's the game between them. But I just wouldn't imagine they went out. Okay, here we go. RTC came back. Okay, Chargers. I was about to say, man, because 9-5. I was like, man, ain't no way they 9-5 because they still can win this AFC East with that win they just had over the Patriots. They gave themselves a chance to still backdoor this NFC East. Okay, so that makes more sense. They both got 10 wins. There we go. Oh, and the Texans are the 7th seed with 9. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. I appreciate you. There we go. That makes more sense. Because, man, I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting there like, man, hold on. I'm lost now. That makes more sense. There we go. Vegas James said Lamar is one of his favorite quarterbacks. Yeah, I mean, no, I definitely respect him. Like, Josh Allen is my favorite quarterback in the league, just individual quarterback. But last year, I still thought Lamar should have been the MVP. Like, I thought Lamar Jackson's season last year was his best year, including the other 2 years he won the Super Bowl or won the MVP for sure. I thought it was his best year. And then even more so than that, I thought his individual season last year was a top 5 quarterback season of all time. The year we saw last year from Lamar Jackson was a top 5 individual season of all time. I'm putting it up there with A-Rod's best season because he had roughly 4,000 passing yards. He had 40 touchdowns. He threw less than 5 interceptions. And then, oh yeah, he added another 800 yards rushing. You know what I mean? Like that's video game numbers. You know, that's rookie Madden mode numbers. You know what I mean? So I think that was a top 5 individual season of all time. Lamar Jackson's that season from Lamar Jackson. A-Rod's best season, which he threw 40 touchdowns and 4 picks, right? And averaged it had a completion percentage of 70. You know what I mean? Peyton Manning throwing 55 touchdowns that in 2013 with the Broncos, right? Tom Brady's record-breaking season with Randy Moss is in there. And then one more we missing. Man, and you know what? That fifth one, I had to come back to it. There's an argument for that fifth spot, man. Maybe somebody wants to pick one of those Drew Brees years. I wasn't as big a Drew Brees fan at that time, just for a lot of reasons, but it's all good. RGC to go say, hey, bolt up, man. He got to get up out of here, man. Hey, I feel you. And actually, man, we 2 minutes from kickoff as well, man. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. I appreciate you coming through and holler at me this morning, big dog, for sure, man. But just like that, we out this thing, man. I'm going to wind it on down. Shout out to the members in the building, man. We're going to do a real quick, real member roll call before we get out of here, man. Shout out to my dog, RTC the GOAT. Hold it down for those Chargers. I appreciate your homeboy. Shout out to my dog, Vegas James, man. Hold it down for those different Broncos, man. He said he need the rest of y'all to believe, man. Y'all better stop playing with him. Shout out to my dog, NFL Questionnaire, back in the building. I appreciate your homeboy. Let me see. Man, I'm looking for the rest of y'all, man. Look, Ski Briz is in the building as well, planning that Broncos Super Bowl party. I appreciate you as well. Hit that like, share, and subscribe before you get up out of here. I appreciate you. Let's see. Man, I'm not going to try to say your name, but you was in the building, so I appreciate you anyway, my boy. I appreciate that. Taiwanese animations as well. I appreciate you. Steelers fan from Cleveland. Let's go, man. Let's get it in, man. I'm a Steelers fan from Ohio myself, man. Dayton, Ohio born, man. And it's big Steelers nation, so I'm with you, big dog. A Brit Mappin in the building for sure, man. I appreciate you. I'm looking for the rest of y'all. Let me see. Cactus Shell Shockers in the building. Man, I'm trying to find you. I'm just going to start throwing them on the board. My dog Tom was in the building. Happy birthday, big dog. Holding it down for those Texans. Unc was in the building, man. David Lee for sure. Mom Deuce is in the building as well. The Captain of the ship made an appearance. And, man, just like that, I'm looking. Matter of fact, Derpy was in the building. That's a perfect one to close it out on my dog Derpy. He know what's going on. Big Steeler Nation. F Detroit, we're going to handle our business today. And just like that, we out this thing. We say the same thing every week. Feel free to say it with me at home. If I forgot to say your name, hey, damn, my bad. Charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart. You know I'm thinking about you, man. I appreciate all the love, support. It's 12 o'clock. I thought it was going to be early. End up running late, but it's all good. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Enjoy y'all football Sunday. Good luck to you and your team, unless your team's playing my team. But other than that, I'll tap it with y'all on Wednesday night. Y'all have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Peace.